You've watched two kids on the same team, same coach, same practice schedule, same number of touches per week, and 6 months later, one of them looks like a completely different player. The other one looks exactly the same. And if your kid is the one who looks exactly the same, you don't say anything. You don't bring it up at dinner. You just sit with it, quietly, on the drive home. What am I missing? What are we not doing? Is this just how it goes? That's what this video is about. Not the kid who's improving, the parents watching the kid who isn't, and trying to figure out why. Before I get into anything else, I need to say something that I wish someone had said to me early on. Some of this is not your fault, and it's not your kid's fault either. Youth soccer development does not move in a straight line. It never has. There are physical factors, bone age, growth spurts, late maturation that have almost nothing to do with effort or attitude or anything like that. How good a coach is. Some kids hit their growth spurt at 11. Some hit it at 15. And during those years, the kid who's physically ahead is going to look like a better player even if he's working half as hard. I've seen parents pull their kid from a club team, change coaches, hire a private trainer, and the real issue was that their son or daughter just hadn't grown yet. So if I'm going to talk honestly about why some kids improve fast and others plateau, I have to start there. Because if you skip that part, everything else sounds like blame. Okay, now let's talk about what you can actually do something about. Because there are real differences, real patterns that separate the kids who are steadily improving from the ones who flatlined. And most of them don't have anything to do with the training schedule. The first one is self-driven training. And before you click away because you think I'm about to tell you to push your kid harder, stay with me. Because it's the opposite. Self-driven training is not the training you schedule. It's the training they show up to because they want to. The kid who goes in the backyard and juggles for 20 minutes because she just thought of a move she wants to try. The kid who watches a highlight video not because his dad told him to, but because he genuinely can't stop thinking about the game. That's not something you can manufacture. You can create conditions for it. You can remove obstacles to it. But the moment you start requiring it, you've killed it. What I've seen in my years in this space is that the kids who plateau often don't have an effort problem. They have an ownership problem. The game doesn't feel like theirs. It feels like something that's happening to them. Practices are something to get through. Games are something to survive. Your job as a parent isn't to add more pressure to the training. It's to help the game belong to them. How? Ask them what they want to get better at. Not what the coach said they need to work on. What they want. Let that answer sit without correction, even if you disagree, even if you think they need something different. Because the kid who owns the goal works harder than the kid who is given one. The second factor is game IQ. And this is the one that parents almost never think about, but coaches almost always notice. Game IQ is not athleticism. It's not skill. It's reading. Where's the ball going before it gets there? Where should I be positioned before the play develops? Which pass do I make before I receive the ball? You can have a technically gifted player with low game IQ, and they will always be one beat behind. You can have a less technically gifted player with high game IQ, and they will always seem like they have more time than everyone else. The good news is, game IQ is learnable. The bad news is, it can't be drilled on a cone course. It develops through game experience, and this is the part most parents miss. Talking about the game, not yelling from the sidelines, not the post-game debrief where you replay everything that went wrong. I mean conversations. What did you see in that second half? Was there a moment where you didn't know what to do? What did you do? If you could run that play again, where would you go? That's how game IQ grows, through reflection. And the parent who creates space for those conversations, not interrogation, conversations, is accelerating their kids' development in a way no extra training session can replicate. Third one. This is the one nobody wants to talk about. Confidence. Here's what I mean by confidence cycles, because I'm not talking about just being positive or having a good attitude. I mean the actual loop. Kid has a good game, feels confident, takes risks, makes mistakes, but keeps trying, develops faster. Kid has a bad game, feels shaky, plays safe, stops taking risks, stops developing, has another bad game. The cycle is self-reinforcing in both directions. And here's where parents make the biggest mistake. We try to interrupt the negative cycle by injecting confidence from the outside. We praise, we reassure, we minimize. You played great, it was just an off day. The kid doesn't believe you. They were there, and now they trust your feedback a little less. What actually interrupts the negative cycle is specificity. Not "you played great." Find one moment, one real moment, where they did something right. In the second half, when you tracked that midfielder all the way back, that's the kind of effort that wins your coach's trust. That's real. They can believe that. That lands. And the other thing, this is hard, sometimes you have to let them sit in the disappointment for a minute before you try to fix it. They need to feel it. Your job isn't to make it stop. Your job is to make sure they know you're not disappointed in them while they're feeling it. Those are two very different things. Last one, and this one requires some honesty. The kids who improve fast almost always have a functional relationship with their coach. Not a perfect one, not a friendship, a functional one, where the player trusts the feedback and the coach trusts the player. And here's the uncomfortable truth. The parent is often the reason that relationship breaks down. Not intentionally. But when a parent argues with a coaching decision in front of their kid, after games, even indirectly in the car ride home, the kid picks up on it. And the message they receive is, your coach doesn't know what they're talking about. And once a kid stops trusting their coach's feedback, they stop being coachable. And a kid who can't be coached cannot improve. It doesn't matter how good the coach is. Now, I'm not telling you to be silent when something is genuinely wrong. There's a difference between holding a coach accountable for something serious and being a parent who undermines authority because of a lineup decision you disagree with. But if you want your kid to develop, the best thing you can do is create trust between your kid and their coach. Not position yourself between them. Ask the coach directly, privately, what your kid needs to work on. Then repeat it to your kid in the same language. Not your interpretation, their words. Your coach said your first touch under pressure is the focus. What does that look like to you? That keeps the relationship intact. And that relationship is one of the most underrated development tools in youth soccer. So let me bring this together. Two kids, same team. One improves dramatically, the other stalls. Here's what's usually true. The one who improves has taken some ownership of their own development. They're thinking about the game when they're not at practice. They're building game IQ through experience and conversation. They're in a confidence cycle that's trending upward, partly because they're taking risks, and partly because the people around them are responding to failure in a way that keeps them in the game. And they have a relationship with their coach that lets feedback land. The one who stalls might be dealing with physical development timing that nobody can control. Or they might be stuck in a confidence loop they can't get out of. Or the game doesn't feel like theirs yet. Or there's a fractured trust somewhere in the chain. None of that is unfixable, but you have to know which one it is before you know what to do about it.